Good evening and welcome to the channel's studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. The US President Donald Trump has descended the steps of Air Force One in Beijing, greeted with pomp and pageantry ahead of a high-stakes meeting with his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. During his two-day visit, the global superpowers are expected to discuss tariffs, competition over tech and the Iran war, as well as the US's relationship with Taiwan. Trump returns to a more assertive China since his last visit in 2017, as he faces growing scrutiny of his military campaign in the Middle East. Mr. Trump was originally scheduled to make the trip in March, but it was delayed because of the US and Israel's war in Iran.
He also spoke of his arrest that it was a game, bragging about girls visiting his cell.
A survivor of Jeffrey Epstein's abuse has told how the late sex offender sexually abused her while he was under house arrest for soliciting prostitution from a minor. Rosa, who was recruited from Uzbekistan as a teenager by Epstein's associate and modeling agent Jean-Luc Brunel, spoke publicly for the first time alongside a number of victims in a field hearing that was organized by House Democrats.
For the following 3 years, I was subject to ongoing rape.
She told the session she was introduced to Epstein by Brunel in July 2009 and was offered work by Epstein to help me with my financial troubles. He later subjected her to rape over a period of 3 years.
I'm a woman, I'm a fighter, and I'm a witness, and I'm begging you, please wash your hands.
Lebanon's health ministry says at least 12 people have been killed in 7 separate Israeli airstrikes on cars in South Beirut, as the war between Israel and Lebanese armed group Hezbollah continues despite a ceasefire. 8 people, including 2 children, died when drones targeted 3 vehicles on the coastal highway in the Baja, Jia and Sadiat areas around 20 kilometers from the capital. The others were killed in strikes on 4 cars further south. The Israeli military has not yet commented, but it did say Israeli forces struck Hezbollah infrastructure in several southern areas. The Philippine Senate is in lockdown, with military personnel seen entering the building where a senator wanted by the International Criminal Court had sought refuge. Rounds of gunfire had been heard. Officials say there have been no casualties. Senator Ronald De La Rosa said earlier he believed his arrest was imminent and urged Filipinos to prevent it. His whereabouts are currently unclear. He is accused by the ICC of killing dozens of people when he was police chief during former President Rodrigo Duterte's war on drugs, in which thousands of alleged drug dealers were shot and killed. Duterte has been held at The Hague since March last year. The UK government has outlined its legislative agenda in the House of Lords. Black Rod, the King's messenger, knocked on the door of the House of Commons after it was slammed in his face. This symbolises that the Commons is independent to the monarchy. The age-old tradition was followed by the King's speech, which, written by the government, outlines the legislative agenda for the coming year. But behind the pomp and grandeur, all is not well for the UK Prime Minister. His Health Secretary, Wes Streeting's allies, say they expect him to challenge the Prime Minister's leadership as soon as tomorrow. Keir Starmer has full confidence in Streeting, according to his spokesperson, after the pair held a 17-minute meeting at Number 10 earlier. Keir Starmer has been under pressure since the local elections in the UK, where his party lost a record amount of seats. And in a landmark German case targeting chocolate shrinkflation, a court has found that the manufacturer of Milka's classic Alpine milk bar cheated consumers and broke competition law. Cutting back on the amount of chocolate while having the same kind of wrapper meant the customers were being misled, according to a regional court in Bremen. The 3-week court case was brought by Hamburg's Consumer Protection Office, which accused the manufacturer of deceiving consumers by cutting the weight of Alpine milk bar from 100 grams to 90 grams. Reacting to the ruling, the maker said it was taking the decision of the court seriously and would look at it in detail. Manufacturers have often resorted to shrinkflation because of rising costs, reducing the size or content of a production in an attempt to maintain the same price. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the channel's studios in Lagos.